and everyone else watching us on the Nityananda web channel. We're going to be entering into the Pacchai Pattini Vratham program for today. The Pacchai Pattini Vratham program is a global undertaking under the guidance and blessings of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, being observed by the whole of Kailasa. As a part of today's segment, we're going to be learning more about the Pacchai Pattini Vratham, about Devi Parashakti Mariamman, about the importance of worshipping the Hindu feminism in Sanatana Hindu Dharma, about the importance given to the feminine consciousness in Sanatana Hindu Dharma, as well as the completion process, to experience completion with our biological mother, with all the mother figures in our life, leading to experience Advaita, oneness with the cosmic mother, with the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism himself. Following that, we're going to be having the darshan of Devi Parashakti Mariamman, live from Adi Kailasa Nityandeshwara Paramashiva Devalayam, followed by the Hindu votes topic for today. So without further ado, let us enter directly into the segment. So what exactly is the Pacchai Pattini Vratham? The Pacchai Pattini Vratham is an effort by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism to reach and accomplish the 17 sustained goals of the United Nations through the revival of the authentic Hinduism in the form of Kailasa, which is the first Hindu nation. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is teaching, sharing the importance, and initiating all of us into the Pacchai Pattini Vratham to achieve this reality. The Pacchai Pattini Vratham has multiple benefits of those who are observing the Vratham. Through the Pacchai Pattini Vratham, the science of Kaya Kalpa, which is the science of experiencing immortality, experientially starts manifesting in those who are observing the Vratham. The grace of Ganapati, the grace of Paramashiva, and the grace of Parashakti Mariamman are bestowed upon those observing the Vratham. And not only that, all the powers of Paramashiva, all the superconscious powers, starts manifesting through you. You become a channel. You'll become available to manifest the superconscious powers of Paramashiva. Every year, the Masi festival is celebrated on the last Sunday of the Tamil month. It is on the last Sunday of the Masi month when the Pacchai Pattini Vratham starts, and it ends on the last Sunday of the Fanguni Tamil month. Devi Mariamman, Devi Parashakti, observes the 28-day fast during this time for the welfare of her devotees. Mariamman Parashakti represents the self-purification of the entire Prakriti. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism beautifully explains this purification process of the Prakriti. The water element from the ocean is purified by the fire element from the sun, which is transformed into clouds and showered as rain. This rain purifies the earth and the airspace, making it the ultimate purifier. Mahamari Parashakti represents the self-purification of the entire Prakriti, of the entire nature. Fasting is the purifying process of every individual. During the Vratham period every year, Mahamari, Parashakti, Prakriti, she herself observes the Pacchai Pattini Vratham, thereby purifying not only the entire Prakriti, but also offering us the opportunity to purify ourselves along with her. The Pacchai Pattini Vratham, the diet as a part of the Vratham, is designed to specifically heal all your physical and psychological ailments. The diet helps clear out all your toxins and blockages from your system to strengthen your immune system to effectively fight off diseases, and also to relieve all your stress, anxiety, and mental tension. Some of the benefits of observing the Pacchai Pattini Vratham is to purify your body and to create a space for Paramashiva and for Parashakti to manifest through you. When you become a channel, when you become a medium for Paramashiva and Parashakti to manifest, the spiritual healing of the whole world starts happening when you start manifesting the Paramashivatva through you. Your body, your system becomes prepared to receive the science of immortality. And you'll receive all the blessings of Devi Parashakti to stay protected from all sorts of diseases. Devi, the Sthala Puranam of Devi Parashakti, of Devi Mariamman, starts in Samayapuram. Out of the thousands of Mariamman temples in and around India, Samayapuram is the first sthala, the first place where Mariamman was worshipped. Samayapuram also happens to be a Shakti Pita, where the eye of Devi Sati fell on the planet Earth, fell on the Bhumi. After the self-immolation of Devi Sati, Parandama, Lord Vishnu, with his Sudarshana Chakra, cut the body of Devi Sati into 54 different pieces, which fell on different parts of the planet. Each place where the body of Devi Sati fell became a Shakti Pita, a place where Devi Parashakti is worshipped. Samayapuram is the place where the eye of Devi Sati had fallen. The temple of Samayapuram Mariamman itself was built by the Vijayanagara king. When the Vijayanagara king was traveling northwards to wage war on a certain region, he stopped and stayed in Samayapuram. At that time, he had declared that if he wins the war, he would build a beautiful temple for Devi Mariamman. And with the grace and blessings of Devi Parashakti, the Vijayanagara king was victorious in the war which was waged in the north. And in true word to his commitment, built the temple of Samayapuram Mariamman. Devi Parashakti, Devi Mariamman is well known to take care of the practical, down-to-earth problems of her devotees. To protect her devotees from chickenpox and other diseases, and to keep the peace as well in the region, Devi Mariamman Parashakti goes around the village in the night personally, ensuring that the ecosystem is maintained, ensuring that all her devotees are prosperous, happy, blissful. Not only that, but the people who have slept directly, who have slept in the temple of Devi, have heard the sounds of Devi's anklets as she makes her rounds, marking her auspicious presence. This temple was also visited during the time of King Dasharatha and by King Vikramaditya during his rule in Ujjain. We need to understand the importance of mother worship in Sanatana Hindu Dharma. In Sanatana Hindu Dharma, the cosmos not only reveres, but the cosmos celebrates, worships the feminine consciousness, the feminine energy. Women who embody the feminine consciousness are not just revered in Hinduism, but are respected, are worshipped in the cosmos. The Vedagamas, the Hindu tradition, not just gives equal rights to women, but it reveres, honors, and worships them. In the Hindu tradition, everything worthy of worship, be it the gods, the rivers, everything is named in a feminine expressive way. Female names, feminine expression names are given to the Shaktis, to the energies, and to the rivers. The whole nature, the whole earth itself is called as Bhuma Devi in Hindu tradition. In Hindu tradition, the earth is not a geography. It is not a place. It is worshipped as a biology. It is a living being and it is worshipped as female. All the rivers, the Ganga, Yamuna, Saraswati, Narmada, Sindhu, Kaveri, other than the river of Brahmaputra, other than this one exemption, all rivers are given the feminine names. Hindu tradition is the oldest tradition, worshipping divine in the form of woman, in the form of Devi. Hinduism has a separate sampradaya called the Shakta Sampradaya, which is the worshipping of the feminine energy, worshipping the highest source of the universe in the form of woman. Worshipping God in the form of woman is a part of Hindu tradition, is the core, integral backbone of Hindu tradition. It is not just that Hinduism gives equal rights to women. It is much more than that. Hinduism reveres, honors, and above all worships women. Again and again, the Vedagamas repeat that wherever women are pleased, wherever women are worshipped, all the gods reside there with bliss and joy. In the Vedic tradition, we call this as the Matra Rupena Samsthita. This is a beautiful depiction, a beautiful shloka from the Chandi part, from the Chandi Parayanam, which in 300 verses extols the glory and the Puranic history of Devi Durga. The verse goes, Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Matra Rupena Samsthita Namastasya 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 Namo Namaha. O Devi, who is residing in all beings, whatever exists in the form of ultimate creativity, who is residing, I bow down, I bow down, I bow down, I surrender. It is this amazing stotra which depicts the importance, which depicts how highly revered Hindu feminism is kept, how highly revered the feminine consciousness is withheld. The essence of mother worship is nothing but mothering of the cosmos inside of you. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism himself is basically a Shakta, a mother worshipper. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism became enlightened by Shakta tradition, by worshipping of the mother. Because your whole biomemory is given to you through your mother. The energy expression happens very strongly only in the mother worship. In all other bhavas, it takes a lot of time to experience the energy expression. The Matru Bhava makes the energy expression very quick and very strong. You may be in the body of a female or you may be in the body of a male. That itself doesn't matter. But when you start mothering the cosmos inside of you, you will become the cosmic mother. Mother worship is a different tradition of enlightenment. It is not a social law. The masculine part, that is what is social based. But the feminine part is always enlightenment based. So whatever religion you may belong to, explore the feminine worship part of that religion. We all need to remember and understand that the first and foremost relationship in our life is the relationship with our mother. Our ability to learn, our ability to relate with others, all of this starts with our mother. Blessed are those who have lived their life around their mother till the age of 14. Because till 14, if you have had your mother living around you, if you have been living with your mother, then you already know, you automatically know how to connect with the divine as the mother. You don't need a separate lesson to learn to understand how to connect with the divine in the Matru Bhava, in the Bhava of mother. There are various attitudes, various bhavas, various techniques and methodologies to connect with the divine, to connect with the higher consciousness. But none of them can come close to the Matru Bhava, connecting with the divine as the mother. This is the unique contribution from the spiritual consciousness from the Vedic tradition to the spiritual consciousness, the sacred feminine worship, having this as the mainstream tradition. Even if everything that Vedic tradition gave is lost due to some tsunami or some earthquake, just if this one worship of woman, worship of mother, the sacred feminine tradition, if this one thing alone is retained, everything can be revived back because this is the seed. All traditions which missed the sacred feminine worship, which missed the techniques to awaken the sacred feminine energy, lost its life within 100 years. One of the greatest things, one of the greatest success of the Ramakrishna mission is that Sharda Devi was included in the main worship altar. And within 100 years, the Ramakrishna mission is created and has expanded in such a huge way. It is because of this component, adding of the component of mother worship in their tradition, which made them what they are today. The same way, in the tradition of Ramana Maharishi, the place was given for Ramana Maharishi's mother. Because unless the representation of the sacred feminine energy is given, the techniques to awaken the sacred feminine energy is that neither enlightenment can happen to you, nor can it be transmitted to the next generation. And so mother worship is a vital part of the Vedic tradition, through which the enlightenment energy manifests. Now, after listening to the various truths, listening to the various powerful cognitions, which the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has shared about the importance of the mother worship and achieving the ultimate experience of enlightenment through the mother, we can now enter into the completion process to experience mother worship, to experience completion with the Divine Mother. The completion, Swamiji says again and again, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism categorically states that whatever incompletion we have with our father, whatever incompletion we have with our mother, it is only when completion is established can you have complete completion with the Guru, can you have complete completion with the divine. Because the Guru, the divine, is nothing but a larger vision. The Guru becoming your cosmic father, the Guru becoming your cosmic mother. And so the incompletions you have with your father, the incompletions you have with your mother, only when those incompletions are completed, only then not only the complete completion happens with your biological parents, but the complete completion also happens with the cosmic mother, with the cosmic father. And you can experience the possibility the space of oneness starts manifesting through you. And so this is the importance of why the completion process needs to be done. Over the past many days, we have done the completion process. And today, we are also going to be reiterating and coming back doing the completion process so that we can experience the space of complete completion. Every time you do the completion process, it is like digging deeper into your system, digging deeper into fundamental roots, the fundamental fabric of who you are and what your existence is. Our life is nothing but the collection of the root thought patterns, root thought currents, and the subjective truths that we carry. When we have the highest possible subjective truths as a part of our life, when we are living with the highest powerful cognitions, only then we start manifesting the mystical life, the magical life, which Paramashiva wants for all of us, which Paramashiva mentions in the Agamas, through which only we can experience the state of Paramashivatva. And so now with this, let us enter into the completion process. For the completion process, it is highly recommended you have a book and you have a paper or a pencil. As much as possible, try to refrain from doing the completion process on any of your gadgets, on any of your devices. Because writing down brings a certain sense of awareness, a certain sense of groundingness in your being when you write down the incidents with your hand, with a pen and a paper. The environment, the space for this completion to happen. Because it is only with the right manure, the right soil, the right fertilizer, can the seed sprout. It is only when, with the right space, can the completion happen. If you have the Atmamurti of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, you can also take and have the Atmamurti present in the space where you are doing the completion process, or you can take and go to the place where the Atmamurti is. That is also perfectly all right. But have the presence of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, have Swamiji's presence in the Vatavarna of where you're doing the completion process. Please take a few minutes now to get ready and to have all the required items and create the required space for the completion process to happen. And now that we're ready, once you are ready, we can enter into the completion process. So the completion process is in 4 different steps. The first step is writing down the earliest incident in your life when you felt your mother was against you and you felt that your mother was not supporting you. It is important to understand that when we are writing the pain incidents, the pain patterns, the root incidents from when the pain patterns have started happening, to be as detailed as possible. Mentioning who and all were there as a part of the incident, what transpired, what happened, what did you feel, and what was your response, reaction towards your mother? Because of the incident, what kind of cognitions, what kind of conclusions did you come to about your mother? Did you develop because of the incident? Please take a pen and paper and start penning down. And it is important to remember to be as detailed as possible. Try to remember even the age at which this incident happened. And being as detailed as possible, write down the earliest incident in your life when you felt your mother was against you and not supporting you. Who were all there? What transpired? What did you feel? And what was your reactions and responses towards it? And also, what were the different kinds of cognitions, conclusions about your mother did you develop because of this incident? The Mahavakya music is going to be played very lightly in the background, and the instructions are also being projected on the screen. So with this, let us now enter into the first step of the completion process. Let us now begin.
the Amrita pore. Let the Vani open up. Manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eye. Jnananda Paramashivam. 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 Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pore, let the Vani open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eye. Jnananda Paramashivam.
when you have identified the root incident, the root thought pattern, the root incident from when the pain pattern was created, we can now enter into the next part of the program, next part of the completion process, which is to relive the incident 5 times within our inner space. Now, as we mentioned earlier, the completion which you're doing now doesn't just necessarily need to be associated with your biological mother. Anyone who was a mother figure in your life, it could be the person who was taking care of you when you were young. It can even be a grandmother if you grew up with your grandparents, or an aunt. Anyone who was the mother figure of your life. Having completion with them directly reflects in the relationship you start building with the Divine Cosmic Mother. So now, let us enter into the next step of the process. Once you have identified the root pattern, the root incident from when this incompletion started developing in you. This can be anyone, as I mentioned earlier. It does not necessarily need to be the biological mother. So that once now you have identified the root incident, we can enter into the next step of the completion process, which is reliving the incident 5 times within our inner space. Relive the incident as if it is happening right now, and you are the child version of yourself experiencing that incident. There's a difference between remembering the incident and reliving the incident. The Supreme Founder of Hinduism clearly gives the distinction between the two. When you relive the incident, you are living the incident as you had experienced it originally, as a 5-year-old child or as a 3-year-old child. Usually all these patterns, all these incompletions, these pain patterns will get formed in us before the age of 7. And so when you are reliving this experience, you need to relive it as the 5-year-old child or as a 6-year-old child, whatever the age was when you were going through this experience. The same understanding you had about life, the same logic you had about life. Whatever it was, your understanding, your logic, reliving the incident from that same understanding about life. Only when the reliving happens, it gets relieved from your system. Otherwise, all we do is just remember the incident. From our current understanding about life, from our current cognitions about the way we understand and cognize the things around us, the life around us. So now it is very important to understand and realize and make sure that you are reliving the incident and not remembering it. Reliving leads to relieving. So now, relive the incident as it happened, as if it is happening right now, and you are the child version of yourself experiencing it again. Don't remember the incident using your current logic. Don't justify everything which happened. Just experience, allow the emotions to happen in you as you experienced them back then. We can now enter into the second step of the completion process.
Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Vani open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Jnananda Paramashivam. 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 Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Vani open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes.
Once you have the incident 5 times in your inner space, reliving the incident as a young child, as the 4-year-old child, 5-year-old child, whatever age you were at that time. Once you have finished reliving the incident from the logic, from the understanding you had about life at that age, after reliving 5 times, next step of the process. Now, tell the incident to yourself in the mirror 5 times loud and clear. Speak as if you are telling your mother about the completion process which you are doing. Look into your own eyes in the mirror as you share the incident. And repeat the instructions once more. Tell the incident to yourself in the mirror 5 times loud and clear. Speak as if you are telling your mother about the completion which you are doing. And look into your own eyes in the mirror as you share this incident. We are now entering into the Swapurnatva Kriya, the process of self-completion. Once you have finished the previous 2 steps of identifying the incompletions and penning them down, of reliving these incidences in your own inner space 5 times, we can now enter into the process of narrating, telling as if you're telling your own mother or telling the mother figure of your life. telling them about the incident, about the completion which you are doing right now. Look into the mirror at yourself and do the completion. Narrate the incident to yourself as you're narrating to your mother in the mirror. Once you have finished with the previous steps, we can now enter into the third step of the completion process.
Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Vani open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Vani open up, manifest in all of us.
Let us now enter into the fourth and final step of the completion process. Now that we have identified the root patterns, identified the root incidents, have penned them down, have done the reliving of these incidences in our inner space, have done the Swapurnatva Kriya of doing the completion with ourselves in the mirror. It is now time to call our biological mother, call the mother figures of our life, and do the completion process. Make sure that you give the context for the completion process and that you actually feel complete and want to take responsibility to change your image of your mother and not blame her for what had happened, not apologizing for what you may have done. Whether you apologize or not is a second thing. But completion itself is not apologizing. Completion itself is not blaming anyone. It is to relieve and remove the hangover of the past in your present and in your future. So now it is time for us to take responsibility and allow the healing of the relationship to happen. Dropping whatever had happened and not expecting anything in return. Just deciding to be in the space of completion. Fundamentally, all of us want to be complete. All of us want peace, harmony, bliss in our lives. But it is our ego, our arrogance, which refuses to take the first step towards making that completion happen. Now let us take the responsibility for the change. Take responsibility to make the completion happen. Again, you don't need to blame them for what had happened, nor do you have to apologize or feel guilty for what you had done. Just take responsibility and allow the healing of the relationship to happen. Dropping the past and not expecting anything in return. Just deciding to be in a space of completion. Let us now enter into the fourth and final step of this completion process.
Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Varni open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Jnanandan Paramashivam Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Vani open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Yananda Paramashivam. 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 Yananda Paramashivam.
So now, once you have done the completion process, completing all the 4 steps, we can now enter into the next step, next segment, which is receiving Devi Parashakti, receiving Devi Mariamman, receiving the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, and offering our worship, our gratitude, our puja to Devi. We are now going to be having the darshan of Devi Parashakti Mariamman and the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism from Nityaneshwar Paramashiva Devalayam, Adi Kailasa, live. Let us get ready to receive Devi Parashakti. The puja can be offered by you also, and you can complete this part of the Vratham of offering your gratitude to Devi and to the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. For the puja, all you need is, if you have the deities, the mandalas of Shri Yantra and Devi Parashakti, or even if you just have the Guru Padukas, that is perfectly all right. Have the Guru Padukas and keep them ready. And if you have fresh flowers to offer as a part of the Archana, you can take and keep those fresh flowers. Or otherwise, if you have the processed kumkum, if you have the processed turmeric, which is the kumkum, you can take and keep the processed kumkum as well, processed turmeric as well, and offer it as a part of the Archana. Following the archana will be the offering of the incense sticks, the lit lamp, the offering of the cooked food, and the offering of Aarti. Please take a few minutes now as we get ready to receive Devi Parashakti. And also make sure that you are in the traditional attire, which is the yoga vastram for all the male bodies without the upper cloth, and wearing the rudraksha and the vibhuti and kumkum in all the right places, and the traditional sari for all the female bodies. Again, with the rudraksha yoga, with the rudraksha, kumkum, and vibhuti in all the places. So please take a few minutes now as we get ready to receive Devi Parashakti.
I bless you all. Let you all open all your three eyes and manifest the powers of Mahasadashiva. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham.
नित्यानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि नित्यानन्देश्वर परमशिवसमारम्भां नित्यानन्देश्वरि परमशिवशक्तिमध्यमाम् नित्यानन्दपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां ललाटे त्रिपुण्ड्रे निटिलकृतकस्तूरीतिलकः स्फुरन्मालाधारस्फुरितकटिकौपीनवसनः दधानो दुस्तारं शिरसि फणिराजं शशिकलां प्रदीपः सर्वेषाम् अरुणगिरियोगी विजयते ॐ सत्यै नमः ॐ साध्व्यै नमः ॐ भवप्रीतायै नमः ॐ भवान्यै नमः ॐ भवमोचन्यै नमः ॐ आर्यायै नमः ॐ दुर्गायै नमः ॐ जयायै नमः ॐ आद्यायै नमः ॐ त्रिनेत्रायै नमः ॐ शूलधारिण्यै नमः ॐ पिनाकधारिण्यै नमः ॐ चित्रायै नमः ॐ चण्डघण्टायै नमः ॐ महातापायै नमः ॐ नमः ॐ बुद्ध्यै नमः ॐ अहङ्कारायै नमः ॐ चित्तरूपायै नमः ॐ चितायै नमः ॐ चित्यै नमः ॐ सर्वमन्तमय्यै नमः ॐ सत्तायै नमः ॐ सत्यानन्दस्वरूपिण्यै नमः ॐ अनन्तायै नमः ॐ भाविन्यै नमः ॐ भव्यायै नमः ॐ भव्यायै नमः ॐ अभव्यायै नमः ॐ सदागत्यै नमः ॐ शाम्भव्यै नमः ॐ देवमात्रे नमः ॐ चिन्तायै नमः ॐ रत्नप्रियाय सदायै नमः ॐ सर्वविद्यायै नमः ॐ दक्षकन्यायै नमः ॐ दक्षयज्ञविनाशिन्यै नमः ॐ अपर्णायै नमः ॐ अनेकवर्णायै नमः ॐ पाटलायै नमः ॐ पाटलावत्यै नमः ॐ पट्टाम्बर परिधानायै नमः। ॐ कलमञ्जीररञ्जिन्यै नमः। ॐ अमेयविक्रमायै नमः। ॐ क्रूरायै नमः। ॐ सुन्दरायै नमः। ॐ सुरसुन्दर्यै नमः। ॐ वनदुर्गायै नमः। ॐ मातङ्ग्यै नमः। ॐ मतङ्गमुनिपूजितायै नमः। ॐ ब्राह्म्यै नमः। ॐ माहेश्वर्यै नमः। ॐ ऐन्द्र्यै नमः। ॐ कौमार्यै नमः। ॐ वैष्णव्यै नमः। ॐ चामुण्डायै नमः। ॐ वाराह्यै नमः। ॐ लक्ष्म्यै नमः। ॐ पुरुषाकृत्यै नमः। ॐ विमलायै नमः। ॐ उत्कर्षिण्यै नमः। ॐ ज्ञानायै नमः। ॐ क्रियायै नमः। ॐ नित्यायै नमः। ॐ बुद्धिदायै नमः। ॐ बहुलायै नमः। ॐ बहुलप्रेमायै नमः। ॐ सर्ववाहनवाहनायै नमः। ॐ निशुम्भशुम्भहनन्यै नमः। ॐ महिषासुरमर्दिन्यै नमः। ॐ मधुकैटभहन्त्र्यै नमः। ॐ चण्डमुण्डविनाशिन्यै नमः। ॐ सर्वासुरविनाशिन्यै नमः। ॐ सर्वदानवघातिन्यै नमः। ॐ सर्वशास्त्रमय्यै नमः। ॐ सत्यायै नमः। ॐ सर्वास्त्रधारिण्यै नमः। ॐ अनेकशस्त्रहस्तायै नमः। ॐ अनेकास्त्रधारिण्यै नमः। ॐ कुमार्यै नमः। ॐ एककन्यायै नमः। ॐ कैशोर्यै नमः। ॐ युवत्यै नमः। ॐ यत्यै नमः। ॐ अप्रौढायै नमः। ॐ प्रौढायै नमः। ॐ वृद्धमात्रे नमः। ॐ बलप्रदायै नमः। ॐ महोदर्यै नमः। ॐ मुक्तकेश्यै नमः। ॐ घोररूपायै नमः। ॐ महाबलायै नमः। ॐ अग्निज्वालायै नमः। ॐ रौद्रमुख्यै नमः। ॐ कालरात्र्यै नमः। ॐ तपस्विन्यै नमः। ॐ नारायण्यै नमः। ॐ भद्रकाल्यै नमः। ॐ विष्णुमायायै नमः। ॐ जलोदर्यै नमः। ॐ शिवदूत्यै नमः। ॐ कराळ्यै नमः। ॐ अनन्तायै नमः। ॐ परमेश्वर्यै नमः। ॐ कात्यायन्यै नमः। ॐ सावित्र्यै नमः। ॐ प्रत्यक्षायै नमः। ॐ ब्रह्मवादिन्यै नमः। श्री नित्यानन्देश्वरी परमशिवशक्ति श्री इन्द्राक्षी देव्यै नमो नमः। नेत्राणां दशभिष्यतैः परिवृताम् अत्युग्रचर्माम्बरां हेमाभां महतीं विलम्बितशिखां मामुक्तकेशान्वितां घण्टामण्डितपादपद्मयुगलां नागेन्द्रकुम्भस्तनीम् इन्द्राक्षीं परिचिन्तयामि सततं प्रत्यक्षसिद्धिप्रदाम्। ॐ धूरसि धूर्वधूर्वन्तं धूर्वतयोऽस्मान् धूर्वतितं धूर्वयं वयं धूर्वामस्त्वं देवानामशिषस्तितमं पप्रितमं दृष्टतमं वह्नितमं देवभूतममहृतमसि हविस्नानं त्रिगुंहस्वमाह्वा विद्रस्य त्वा चक्षुषा प्रेक्षे माभेर्मा संविक्था मा त्वाहि पुंसिषम्। ॐ ह्रीं श्रीं इन्द्राक्षीं श्रीं पें स्वाहा श्री नित्यानन्देश्वरी परमशिवशक्ति श्री इन्द्राक्षि देव्यै नमः धूपमाघ्रापयामि ॐ उद्दीप्यस्वजातवेदोपघ्नन्निरऋतुं मम लग्न आगहि श्रिया मा परिपातय ॐ ह्रीं श्रीं इन्द्राक्षीं श्रीं पें स्वाहा श्री नित्यानन्देश्वरी परमशिवशक्ति श्री इन्द्राक्षिदेव्यै नमः दीपं सन्दर्शयामि अथ नैवेद्यम् ॐ मधुवातारुतायते मधुक्षरन्ति सिन्धवः माध्वीर्नः सन्तोषधीः मधुनक्तमुतोषसि मधुमत्पार्थिवगुम्रजः मधुद्यौरस्तु नः पिता मधुमान्नो वनस्पतिर्मधुमागुम् अस्तु सूर्यः माध्वीर्गावो भवन्तु नः मधु 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 ॐ ह्रीं श्रीं इन्द्राक्षीं श्रीं पें स्वाहा श्री नित्यानन्देश्वरी परमशिवशक्ति श्री इन्द्राक्षिदेव्यै नमः नैवेद्यं निवेदयामि ॐ सर्वमङ्गलमाङ्गल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थसाधिके शरण्ये त्र्यम्बके गौरी नारायणि नमोऽस्तु ते सृष्टिस्थितिविनाशानां शक्तिभूते सनातनी गुणाश्रये गुणमये नारायणि नमोऽस्तु ते शरणागतदीनार्थपरित्राणपरायणे सर्वस्यार्त्यहरे देवि नारायणि नमोऽस्तु ते ॐ ह्रीं श्रीं इन्द्राक्षीं श्रीं पें स्वाहा श्री नित्यानन्देश्वरी परमशिवशक्ति श्री इन्द्राक्षिदेव्यै नमः कर्पूरनीराजनं सन्दर्शयामि रक्षान् धारयामि शोणाद्रीशावताराय ज्योतिस्तम्भस्वरूपिणे श्रीकैलासप्रधानाय नित्यानन्दाय मङ्गलम् तत्त्वज्ञानप्रदाताय नित्यानन्देश्वररूपिणे श्रीकैलासप्रधानाय नित्यानन्दाय मङ्गलम् मूलप्रकृतिरूपाय परमशिवशक्तिस्वरूपिणे श्रीकैलासप्रधानाय नित्यानन्दाय मङ्गलम् दण्डत्रिशूलहस्ताय कालकालस्वरूपिणे श्रीकैलासप्रधानाय नित्यानन्दाय मङ्गलम् आदिपूज्याय देवाय सकृत्पूर्णत्वरूपिणे श्रीकैलासप्रधानाय नित्यानन्दाय मङ्गलम् सर्वाभयविनाशकाय शत्रुसंहाररूपिणे श्रीकैलासप्रधानाय नित्यानन्दाय मङ्गलम् योगभट्टाभिषिक्ताय राजसन्न्यासधारिणे श्रीकैलासप्रधानाय नित्यानन्दाय मङ्गलम् सार्वभौमैकपत्याय राजराजार्चिताय च श्रीकैलासप्रधानाय नित्यानन्दाय मङ्गलम् मङ्गलं कल्पवृक्षाय मङ्गलं ज्ञानदायिने परमशिवाय श्रीनित्यानन्देश्वराय मङ्गलम् मङ्गलं श्रीविद्याम्बायै मङ्गलं कामदायिन्यै सर्वमङ्गलदात्रे नित्यानन्देश्वर्यै मङ्गलम् मङ्गलं गुरुदेवाय मोक्षमूलाय मङ्गलम् परमावताराय नित्यानन्दाय गुरवे मङ्गलम् त्वं स्मृतमहं धन्य मम प्राणमहेश्वर गङ्गाधर नामेति स्तोत्रस्थानं ददाम्यहम् हरिः ॐ तत्सत् सर्वं भगवत् श्री नित्यानन्द परमशिवपादुकार्पणमस्तु ॐ नित्यानन्दम्
I bless you all. Let you all open all your three eyes and manifest the powers of
Channel. That was such a powerful, beautiful darshan of Devi Parashakti, Mariamman. In the same space of oneness, let us enter into today's power manifestation. Today, we are going to be manifesting the power of remote vision and body scanning. Today, in the body scanning, we are going to be manifesting the power where we are going to scan the other person for any problem that the other person has faced in their past. Any problem that they have had so far in their body, any major problem or anything, any problem that might be, which is still affecting them in some way, or which is not affecting them in any way. We are going to be scanning them, and we are going to be revealing even solutions for those problems of whatever Swamiji is going to reveal to us. So let us enter into the power manifestation. So you can call the person who you want to manifest this power for. Ask them to get a paper and pen and note down all the problems that they have faced in their past, which is still affecting them, if they know, or even if they just write down any problem that they have faced, that would be great. That is enough. So quickly write down all the problems. You can ask them quickly write down all the problems that they have faced. And before writing down the problems, they should write down for the power of the remote vision of how they are surrounded with, what they are surrounded by, like if they're sitting in their office, or if they're sitting in their house, or what they're doing at that moment. Also, they can write down, or what kind of dress, what color dress, what type of dress, what they're sitting on, and what the color of the wall is, what the color of the ceiling is. All of these kind of details they can write down, because you are going to be doing the power of remote vision and then the power of body scanning. So first we'll be starting with the remote vision, where we are going to first enter into the space of oneness with Swamiji. Then Swamiji is going to reveal to us and show the other person to us in the third eye. Then we are going to be manifesting the power of body scanning and scanning for all the problems that the other person has faced in their life with respect to their body. So let us get ready for the power manifestation. We have 3 more minutes to get anyone for the power manifestation. You can get anyone who you want to manifest this power for. And if anyone who wants to manifest this power, you can call them also and tell them to join today's session now. They can come and become a part of the session and start the power manifestation. And whoever you want to invite for power manifestation, they can come and join us from tomorrow. After the darshan of Devi Parashakti, when we are in the highest space of oneness, when we decide to manifest anything in that moment, we will be manifesting anything that we declare to manifest. So this is the best time to do the power manifestation, when we are directly getting the initiation and the Shakti Pada from Devi Parashakti to manifest these powers. Then we are in the space of oneness with Swamiji. So now, let us first listen to the Shastra Pramana, which is the direct revelation from Paramashiva himself about the power of the body scanning. So as we know that there are 4 methods of teaching in Hinduism. First is the Shastra Pramana, then is the Apta Pramana, then the Atma Pramana, then the Sakshi Pramana. So the Shastra Pramana is where Paramashiva himself has revealed through the Vedas and the Agamas. Then the Apta Pramana is the experience of the great masters, the great rishis, the great living enlightened beings who time-tested this software and made it available, made it useful for all for the whole world. Then comes the Atma Pramana, where the living enlightened master, the avatar himself, the guru, who's initiating the other people, that person should have experienced this science on themselves and manifested that power or that science. Then he can initiate, he or whoever that person is having that experience, whoever has had that experience for themselves, that person can initiate and make that Shastra Pramana that great science, the divine powers, as the Sakshi Pramana, means the experiential truth for the other person. So let us now listen to the Shastra Pramana, which is from the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra, Sutra 54 and Dharana 31. Swadehe jagato vapi sukshma sukshma tarani cha tattvani yani nilayam dhyatvante vyajyate para. The translation goes, cognize deeply that from subtle to the subtlest constitutive principles of your whole body, which is the Swadeha, or of the whole universe, simultaneously consists of the essential reality. They are being absorbed in their source cause, which is the Sadashiva. By the experience of such restful awareness, one becomes complete from all thoughts, and the ultimate universal divine power, the Paradevi Adi Shakti, is revealed, and the supreme power manifestation happens. So this was the revelation by Paramashiva himself in the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra. So now we are going to be entering into the power manifestation, where we are going to be starting the power with the remote vision. Then we are going to enter into the power of body scanning. So let us get ready to do the power manifestation. Whoever are manifesting this power, let us sit on the ground or on the chair, anywhere you are comfortable to sit. If you can sit in Padmasana, sit in Padmasana. Sit with your head, neck, and spine in a straight line. Keep the paper and pen with you so that you can write down everything that is being revealed to you by Swamiji. We are going to be starting the power manifestation now. Visualize Swamiji in your third eye. Close your eyes and visualize Swamiji in your third eye. Any form of Swamiji of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, any form where you connected to the most in the space of oneness, you can visualize those forms and also start chanting the Mahavakya. Intensely chant the Mahavakya intensely from the throat center or aloud. Now you can start chanting the Mahavakya. We have 5 minutes to do the power manifestation. To manifest this power, we have 5 minutes. Let us start the power manifestation in the next 1 minute. Let us first chant the Mahavakya, visualize Swamiji. Then we will be beginning with the power manifestation. Now intensely chant the Mahavakya. Yes. Now let us begin the power manifestation. Request Swamiji in your third eye to show the other person through the power of the remote vision. You're going to be seeing the other person. Swamiji is going to be revealing the other person to you. Write down everything, every detail that you see of the other person. Anything, any detail, even small details like the color of the dress, the room that they're sitting in, what kind of dress they're wearing, what they're sitting on top of, or what they're doing at that moment. Write down all of these details. Whatever Swamiji is showing to you, you can write down all of those details. Then we'll be moving on to the body scanning. Just request Swamiji in your third eye, Swamiji, please show me whatever problems that the other person who you are scanning for, whatever problem they have faced in their life in the past.
You can also request for any solution. If you see any problem in the other person, you can request for a solution. Also to Swamiji himself, to the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, to show you the solution, to heal the other person completely of that problem that the other person has faced in their life, in their body. You have 4 more minutes to do the power manifestation. Let us continue to intensely chant the Mahavakya. Continuously chant the Mahavakya intensely. Make sure that you are sitting straight with your head, neck, and spine in a straight line. And write everything that is being revealed to you. Just request Swamiji and you will be able to see whatever the other person is having. Like first you'll be able to see the other person, which is the power of remote vision. Then you'll be able to scan the other person's body itself and find out all the problems that they have faced in their past with respect to their body. And you can also request for a solution and you'll be able to see the solution. Swamiji will show everything to you. So let us continue to do the power manifestation. We have 2 more minutes to do the power manifestation. You have 1 more minute to do the power manifestation. Now you can also take photos of yourself doing the power manifestation as you are manifesting the Shaktis, the divine powers of Paramashiva. You can take a photo of yourself or you can ask someone else to take the photo of you. We will be posting our photos and our experiences on the social media as part of today's power manifestation segment. Make sure to take photos as well. We have a few more seconds. Then we will be moving on to the next step of the power manifestation segment. Yes, let us now get ready to verify the revelations from Swamiji. Whatever Swamiji revealed to all of us, we are going to be verifying those with what the other person has written down as their problems that they have faced and also the remote vision. So let us now start that. You can call the other person and tell everything that you saw first, as this is what Swamiji revealed to you. So everything that Swamiji revealed to you, you can tell them that this is what Swamiji revealed to me. This is how you are seated, or this is what you're doing, or this is the color of your dress. This is how the surrounding of your house is. This is how your office is set up. Any detail that you see, that you have seen, just tell everything to them. Whatever that you have written down, tell everything to them. Then the body scanning. Whatever problems that you saw about the other person, which they have faced in the past, you can tell those as well. Whatever you have written down, you can share that as well to the other person. So then, if you saw any solutions for those problems that the other person is facing, you can then reveal those solutions as well and ask them to follow those solutions. Then we will be doing the social media sharing. So let us now begin the sharing. You can start sharing whatever you saw with the other person. Every day during power manifestation sessions, so many people are having so many different kinds of breakthroughs, and different levels of manifestation is happening in everyone. So like when we started the power manifestation, we started with only one power per day. We were doing only the body scanning. Now we are doing body scanning and remote vision. First we're doing the remote vision, and through the remote vision power, we are scanning the other person. We are able to look at the other person and scan the other person. So we are like manifesting new and different kinds of power manifestation every day, and manifesting Swamiji himself, the highest space, which is the enlightenment itself in our body. And through that, we are manifesting so many beautiful Shaktis and experiences in our lives. Because all these powers are Shaktis, which manifest from the space of enlightenment. Only when you are in the space of enlightenment, which is the completion, and the Paramashiva himself, which is the space of Swamiji. When Swamiji is manifesting through your body, you're already established in that highest space of enlightenment. So only when we are established in that space, we are able to manifest these powers through our body. But if you see the siddhis are the small power manifestations that happen when you are on the path to the enlightenment. So because of your own sadhana or your own effort that you put to achieve something, you are going to be manifesting the siddhis, which can also divert you from the enlightenment. But here we are manifesting the Shaktis of Paramashiva, where Swamiji himself, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism himself, has initiated us into these divine great power manifestations. So now we are going to be entering into the next step, where we're going to be sharing our experience on the social media as well. So this is also a beautiful opportunity to express your gratitude to the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism for giving us all this beautiful opportunity for doing the power manifestation. So now you can start the social media sharing. You can share your experiences on the social media about the powers that you have manifested today for the body scanning, remote vision, and also if you saw any solutions, you can share that also. You can share what kind of an experience that you manifested, what you felt inside yourself while doing the power manifestation. You can share that, and also share the photos of you doing the power manifestation. Whatever photos you took of you yourself doing the power manifestation, you can do that as well. You can share that also. Let's continue to share our experiences. If you have not yet finished sharing with the other person, with the person who you scanned for, you can continue sharing. And once you finish sharing to the other person, you can do the social media. You can share your experiences on the social media. And while you're doing the sharing on the social media, you can use the hashtag of Pacchai Pattini Vratham. For the Pacchai Pattini Vratham, you can use the hashtag of #PPV. Then next, you can use the hashtag Kailasa, hashtag Power Manifestation, hashtag Mariamman, and hashtag Nityananda. You can use these hashtags for sharing your experiences on the social media. And for all those who are doing the Pacchai Pattini Vratham successfully for so many days now, you can also share your experience of what you're experiencing with your body and what great things you're manifesting in your life. After starting the Pacchai Pattini Vratham, you can share those experiences as well with the hashtag PPV. And for everyone, you can share your experience through a video as well. You can record yourself sharing your experience in a small video, and you can post that also on social media, on Facebook or on any other social media as well. Make sure to share your experiences. And every day we are going to be having power manifestations and manifesting these powers of Paramashiva himself after the darshan of Devi Parashakti and in the highest space of oneness with the supreme point of Hinduism. So you all can come back every day for the power manifestation, and anyone who you want to give this experience to, you can call them also and get them for the power manifestation sessions and all the whole NTV segment that we are having every day. You can invite whoever you want to. So in a few moments, we'll be moving on to the next segment of today's session.
I bless you all. Let you all open all your three eyes and manifest the powers of Mahasadashiva. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham.
Now that we have had the darshan of Devi Parashakti and the supreme pontiff of Hinduism, Nityanam, now that we have had darshan of Devi Parashakti and the supreme pontiff of Hinduism as well, and have manifested the superconscious powers of Paramashiva, we are now going to be entering into the Hindu votes segment, Hindu votes topic of discussion for today, which is learning and understanding about the Hindu democracy. What does the Hindu democracy look like? As well as the Hindu parliament structure being established by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, being revived through the Kailasa nation. Joining me today, we also have Srinitya Brahmosukananda Maharaj. Nityanam.
Nityananda Maharaj.
Yes, and today we're going to be entering into this topic, understanding the nuances, understanding the importance of the Hindu parliament system, and how the Hindu parliament can solve many of the world problems which we are facing today. So to begin today's segment, I'd like to first give you the translation of a verse from the Rig Veda, which beautifully depicts, beautifully gives the narration, gives the understanding about the Hindu government system. The translation of the verse goes, "Thou mighty Agni, gatherest up all that is precious for thy friend. Bring us all the treasures as thou art enkindled in liberation's place. Assemble, speak together. Let your minds be all of one accord. As ancient gods unanimous sit down to their appointed share. The place is common the assembly, common the mind, so be their thought united. A common purpose do I lay before you, and worship with your general oblation. One and the same be your resolve, and be your minds of one accord, united by the thought of all that all may happily agree." Coming to a consensus, how responsible democracy works to come to a healthy consensus, keeping all the private, personal interests, likes, dislikes aside, keeping the common good as the goal, how they come to a consensus, how the ecosystem is more important priority than the individual's likes and dislikes. The tyaga of the people, the visionaries, is beautifully described in this verse.
Yes, beautifully put, Maharaj. And in fact, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagwan Nityananda Paramashiva, gives a rough outline of the Hindu parliamentary structure, the Chit Sabha, Raja Sabha, Deva Sabha, Kanaka Sabha, Nityananda Sabha. These are the 5 sabhas put together, and they will be called as the Hindu parliament. Chit Sabha will deal with all consciousness-related sciences. See, the purpose of Kailasa is to give a superconscious breakthrough to the world, to the planet Earth. Chit Sabha will deal with the issues related to that. Now coming to Raja Sabha. Raja Sabha will deal with all the political decisions that need to be made and reaching out to politicians, inspiring, integrating them with the cosmic vision of Kailasa. Raja Sabha will work in that line. Now coming to Deva Sabha. Deva Sabha will bring all the best contributions of Kailasa to the world. Hinduism has so much to offer, whether the flights, the Pushpaka Vimana of those days, and amazing surgery, technology, methodologies of Sushruta, the amazing Hindu medicine, all the best things Hinduism has to offer in the field of life and administration, Deva Sabha will be managing all of that. Then the Kanaka Sabha. Kanaka Sabha will manage all the resource development. See, Hindus existed as the richest civilization, completely in tune with the nature, without exploiting, abusing, destroying the nature. We lived as the richest civilization, reviving those natural resource-based lifestyle. It's altogether a different science than what we see as government structures today. Then the Nityananda Sabha will work on lifestyle, blissful lifestyle, how to implement that on the planet Earth. All the decisions related to that will be taken by the Nityananda Sabha. So these are the 5 sabhas that together constitute the Hindu parliamentary structure.
Another important aspect of the Nityananda Sabha is the contributions, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism's personal contributions to the world, implementing it, administrating, and giving that science to the world. This is also an important aspect of the Nityananda Sabha. And as long as the world was following the trend of the Hindu civilization for thousands of years, for more than 2,000 years before, just even 2,000 years before, not only we were the richest, planet Earth never had any suffering. Not only we were rich and we lived an elite lifestyle, we did not abuse, we did not exploit the natural resources, we did not exploit the Mother Earth, the Bhumi Devi. Nature never suffered. Prakriti was a part of us. We were a part of Prakriti. Now, the way we are going, if you're not given the right knowledge, not given the right education, we may not keep the planet Earth alive for even the next 100 years. It may not be livable anymore, even within the next 100 years. Within the next 100 years, we may destroy it if we don't wake up to the truth, to live with the nature, to live with the Prakriti without exploiting it. It's time we learn to live with the nature, the most beautiful, natural, cosmic way, through the Hindu lifestyle. The Kanaka Sabha looks into that component. The 5 sabhas are present or recorded in the Nataraja temple in Chidambaram. All 5 assembly halls, the Chit Sabha, Kanaka Sabha, Raj Sabha, Deva Sabha, and the Nityananda Sabha, the house of consciousness, the house of prosperity, the house of the lords, the house of the Kshatriyas, and the Deva Sabha, the house of the cosmocrats. All these 5 assemblies are the model of Hindu democracy. And all of this is recorded in the Chidambaram Nataraja temple.
Yes. So now let's address the question, what is Hindu democracy? How is the role model complementing the contemporary world democracies? So once upon a time, yoga, for example, was shammed. Today, it is a world heritage to 8 billion people on the planet and not just 2 billion Hindus. Just like yoga, Hinduism has several gifts for the world and benefits to mankind. Hindu democracy is one of them. To understand the utility value of the Hindu democratic system, we need to look at them in comparison to the present parliamentary structures of the world. Only through this contrast will we really be able to see the utility value and the overall, whatever the contribution of the Hindu parliamentary structure, the Hindu democracy can give to the world. In most countries today, we have the legislative assemblies, for example, upper and lower house. In the UK, it is called the House of Commons, House of Lords. Then Rajya Sabha represents the House of Lords. And the rulers and the kings, Kshatriyas, and regional heads, they will constitute the Rajya Sabha. Next is Chit Sabha. This is something about today, most countries, Chit Sabha is the house of consciousness, which can be compared to the religious body of the country. See, we are mapping whatever the Hindu parliamentary structure, all the sabhas, how it maps to the current democratic systems in the world, which are in practice today.
During the medieval times, the European civilization had demanded secularism. It is during the medieval times the concept of secularism came into place. And secularism, for those of you who are not aware, secularism is the separation of state and the church. Because at that point, at that time, the religious body was overpowering the government structures and abusing its position in society. Today, unfortunately, the exact opposite is happening. The excessive interference and political and state administration into the matters of Hindu temples is now today shown as secularism. The conditions of Hindu temples, the kidnap and smuggling of deities, the encroachment of temple lands and properties, the theft of deity jewelry, all this looting is happening under the disguise of secularism, or as we must now say, pseudo-secularism.
Yes. So in Hinduism, neither the Chit Sabha interferes in Rajya Sabha, nor does Rajya Sabha interfere in the matters of Chit Sabha. Chit Sabha, as the house of consciousness, leads by enlightened gurus, plays the guiding role, guiding the core principles. In Hindu kingdoms such as the Madurai Shyamala Pitha Sarvagnya Pitham, the guru is both the head of the state and the supreme pontiff. In other samrajas also, states and other kingdoms, the guru would coronate the king, with the king being a disciple. The king with autonomy, functional as the representative of the presiding deity of the kingdom, who is the Paramashiva, the ultimate super consciousness, whose physical embodiment was the guru. guiding the king as the Rajaguru. In times of crisis, when the king died in the war, the Guru would temporarily take the responsibility of the king also. The Guru was thus the supreme constitutional head.
Not only that, the Guru was not just the supreme constitutional head, it was also the fact that the Vedagamas were the religious and scientific source scriptures and a part of the constitution. Why were the 56 Hindu nations so successful and once spanned 6 million square kilometers of Asia and were prosperous for more than 10,000 years? It was because of the arrangement of the way the Hindu government was placed. The government in the medieval Europe, it collapsed at one point. It was not as prosperous. It did not last as long as the Hindu parliament. And the reason for this is because in Hinduism, the 5 sabhas work in a complementary way, where they do not interfere in the matters of other sabhas. If one sabha interferes with another, it is a power-hungry and corruption, which does not exist in Hinduism. Let us look at another example of the sabhas. The Kanaka Sabha, which is the house of prosperity. In today, modern terms, if we look at the world around us, the Kanaka Sabha can be compared to the Chamber of Commerce and Industries, to the merchant guilds, and the various other bodies which represent the people and the institutions behind prosperity.
Yes, and in fact, the bodies, several bodies like the MPAA, for example, represents Hollywood, right? And the FICCI in India is the commerce, the guild, so to speak, that represents the interests of the people in the commerce and trade and commerce and all that. Even the various small-scale industry associations, all of these were represented by the Kanaka Sabha. The modern economic system solely focuses on how the interests of major international companies can be met by the governments. It's a sad fact, but it is true. In Hindu democracy, they were an independent house of the economy in the parliament. That is the difference. The goal of Kanaka Sabha in Kailasa is to share the prosperity with everyone, as it used to be in Hindu democracies of the past. So the very context was different. Thus, being rich in Hindu democracy wasn't bad because it was a shared prosperity. There are many isms in today's world. The crony capitalism denotes the overpowering of Rajya Sabha by Kanaka Sabha, right? So, in same way, the overpowering or interference of Kanaka Sabha by Rajya Sabha is communism. From today's perspective, we are explaining. Hindu economy was neither crony capitalism nor communism. It is pure responsibilism. The responsible democracy is Hindu democracy. The rich were encouraged to earn more and expand because the context was shared prosperity. The Hindu democracy and economic system was highly sophisticated, where power was distributed among the sabhas. Therefore, the Hindu nations were extremely resilient to corruption and civilizational disintegration.
Beautifully put, Maharaj. In fact, the Kanaka Sabha is not just part of the world's democracies in today's world. And that is why earning money has lost its spiritual context. Understand, back in the ancient Hindu Vedic civilization, earning money, making a living, had a spiritual context. But that is not there today because the Kanaka Sabha is not a part of the world's democracies. All the exploitation we see of Mother Earth, of Mother Nature, the unsustainable exploitative economy is an outcome of losing the spiritual context of prosperity. As an example, one of the biggest scams and corruptions, as the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has revealed to all of us, is that of money, of currency, a single currency which is centrally controlled. Now, what happens when power is not distributed but extremely centralized? As the saying goes, power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. In Hinduism, the fact that power is distributed is the spiritual foundation of responsibilism. Therefore, the currency also had multiple forms. For example, there were grain-based and gold-based currencies. The grain-based economy had different laws and a different basis of calculation of interests and loans. When there was a famine, the grain banks would share grains and write off the loans on humanitarian grounds to save the people. Understand, this is the important part. The laws did not apply for gold-based currencies. These laws during famines and during crisis moments, grain banks would share grains and write off loans on humanitarian grounds to save people. And it was because of this, because the currency of grains was different, the currency of the gold was different. This helped to prevent bubble economies. This helps to prevent bubble economies, which happens when large corporations collapse, but the governments or central banks write off their bad debt and inject artificial money onto the economy, printing money basically, thus creating bubble economies and inflations. In Hindu economies, the grain loans would be written off to save lives. It would do just that, save lives. Such a life-positive economy. It would not create bubbles because gold-based economy would remain independent of the grain-based economy. It was a win-win scenario. During prosperous times, the grain banks would be filled with grains and managed with integrity and discipline using grain-based economic laws and principles. During famines, droughts, severe calamities like the pandemic similar to the COVID-19, these grains would be shared to save lives. Everything was for life. These grain banks were located in temple cellars. In Hindu Sampradaya, in the Hindu tradition, temples were everything for us. Temples were the town hall, the parliament, the grain banks, the center of Hindu life. The entire food security infrastructure of Hindu nations was destroyed. The grain-based economy was completely destroyed during the colonial era. The trade guilds, the Kanaka Sabha of skilled workforce was destroyed to push the colonial industries. It was not just a cultural genocide as we described yesterday. This was a complete systematic destruction of the Hindu civilization.
Yes, so beautifully put, Maharaj. And I would stress on this point that you spoke about, that entire Hindu economy, Hindu democracy is for life. It is based on the core principle of life positivity in comparison to the modern political economic model, which is mostly fear and greed based. Now, moving on to the Deva Sabha, the house of cosmocrats, the think tank, the policy makers. Today, they could be compared to, for example, the Niti Aayog in India, the IPCC, the International Panel for Climate Change in the United Nations, and several other think tanks in the world over. These are the brains, the best brains of the society, who make the best policies. Even today, every country has their Deva Sabha, their own Deva Sabha in a way. But it is not understood and made as an integral part of the democracy. Today, for example, the Facebook algorithms are blamed for biased discrimination, and Facebook is experimenting in various ways to get people from different backgrounds to provide inputs to their algorithms, such as religious groups, civil society, human rights activists, and so on. Today, IPCC sets goals for the governments of all the countries. For example, in the case of carbon footprint and greenhouse gas emissions.
Yes, Maharaj, that's actually beautifully puts the importance of the Deva Sabha in our current civilization, in our current society. Let us now look at how corruption happens, how corruption in any government structure happens when any house, any part, any pillar of the government interferes in the work of another house. For example, when the Raj Sabha, when it is interfering with the Kanaka Sabha, controlling it, it becomes communism. When Kanaka Sabha tries to control the Raj Sabha, then we have chronic capitalism. When both are independent and empowered, that is Hindu responsibilism. Another case, when the Chit Sabha tries to control the Raj Sabha, it results in a papal state. When the Raj Sabha tries to take control over the Chit Sabha, we have political control of religions. When the Kanaka Sabha tries to interfere in the Deva Sabha, it leads to having fake research and a manipulative economy, false publications, and scams like the Spectrum scam. When the Raj Sabha tries to interfere into the Deva Sabha, we have policy crisis. When the Deva Sabha tries to interfere in the Raj Sabha, it leads to excess bureaucracy. When the Deva Sabha tries to interfere in the Kanaka Sabha, it results in excess state interference in economy.
Yes. And the very context we are trying to put this together is the very structure of the Hindu parliament and the Hindu democracy is basically given by Paramashiva himself, this way of distributing power among various factions of the society is focused on the core principle that it has to be for life and the core and aligned to the very purpose of life, which is ultimately to be liberation, to have oneness with Paramashiva and Mahadeva. Paramashiva, he has himself given us the best way out of all these different systems, which all have their own disadvantages, so that those are not being exploited by either of the government bodies respectively. Because there's always a potential that one of these groups, one of these factions can try to overpower the other, thus resulting in various forms of corruptions, which Maharaj himself put a while ago, and thus destabilizing the whole society, whole economy. But in the Hindu parliamentary structure, the powers are so carefully and beautifully distributed that it does not result in that crisis situation and gives overall stability and longevity and in fact sustainability to the whole society. So, which have their own, and all those are not being exploited by any of these government bodies. Mahadeva has given us the Hindu democracy, which is responsibilism based. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nityananda Paramashivam, is reviving this Hindu democracy and parliament structure through Kailasa as one of his great contributions to the world today.
Yes, Maharaj. And there's another thing which we need to address is that there is a common misconception that if Hinduism prospers, secularism will become broken. That is completely wrong, and that is completely a wrong understanding. What we call as secularism right now, what is being called as secularism and going on in the world, whereas you single out Hindu temples for exploitation by Hindu Misia forces, this is not even secularism, this is pseudo-secularism. The Hindu democracy is not against secularism. Rather, the Hindu democracy gives the way for super secularism. Secularism talks only about the separation of state and church in the Hindu democratic parliament structure. In the Hindu democratic parliament structure, all 5 houses of democracy function completely independent of each other. It is a super secularism where it is ensured that none of the factions of government are interfering in each other, which directly leads to corruption and mishandle of power, abuse of power. And so after now having the overview of some of the core principles of Hindu democracy and the Hindu parliament structure, which is being revived in Kailasa, the first Hindu nation, by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, it is now our time to practice our fundamental democratic right, which is the Hindu votes. As we mentioned, democracy in Hinduism is a responsible democracy. In the poor voting, what they have studied upon, they coming together and voting on the relevant logics, the relevant topics they are expert about. That is the responsible democracy when we vote in Hinduism. Not anyone and everyone can vote on anything. Every issue with Hindu society is facing right now. In today's case, it is the problem of the secularism and the problem of the state interfering into the religion. All these issues which are being faced by practicing Hindus around the world, getting that brought to the public attention and addressing it through the Hindu votes is our responsibility. As you all already know, Kailasa is the first nation created for Hindus by Hindus. And by becoming a part of the e-citizen of Kailasa for free, you can participate in the Hindu votes where you actively become a part of the governance. You actively become a part of creating, of guiding the future of Kailasa. The decisions and votes which we make right now have a direct impact of not only our lives, but the lives of the current citizens of Kailasa and for generations to come. We live in a very important historic period where we have the chance to be a part of the active revival, active functioning of the Kailasa nation, of the Hindu nation, and setting the trend, the standard of all the laws for posterity. By participating now in the Hindu votes, you are becoming an active part of the revival of the first Hindu nation. And so now we cover the 5 sabhas of the Hindu democratic structure. The Chit Sabha, the house of consciousness, the Kanaka Sabha, the house of prosperity, the Rajya Sabha, the house of the lords and kshatriyas, the Deva Sabha, house of cosmocrats, and the Nityananda Sabha, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism's contributions to all of us, to humanity, for a blissful lifestyle. How they function as a super secularism, where the distribution of the governing powers are given to their respective fields without interfering into each other. Because today's secularism can only be described as pseudo-secularism, because it is not clearly keeping the responsibilities of each body of power separate, but massive interference with the responsibilities within each other. We Hindus don't need a pseudo-secularism. We need to establish a Hindu democracy with the 5 sabhas as they are recorded and established in the Chidambaram Nataraja temple. Do you agree? This is the question, this is the vote which we are all faced with today. So to cast your vote as to whether Hindus should establish a Hindu democracy or Hindus should not establish the Hindu democracy, or whatever is your opinion about this topic, whatever do you think should be done about the government structure of Hindus, you can go ahead over to Twitter and visit the official handle of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, which is Sri Nityananda, where this poll is going to be posted right now. And you can cast your vote as to what do you think should be done about the Hindu parliament structure. And so with this, I would also like to make a couple of important announcements for all of you, a lot of exciting announcements. Tomorrow being the auspicious celebration of Ugadi, the Hindu New Year, which is being celebrated in various parts of the world by various communities, by everyone, by the state of Karnataka, by the state of Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. For all the Telugu people and all the Karnatakas, we have the New Year celebration of Ugadi. And as a part of the festive celebrations which are going to be taking place tomorrow, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism himself is going to be coming and giving us live darshan, going to be coming and blessing all of us and giving the presidential announcement for all of us as Kailashians and e-citizens. So make sure to stay tuned and join us tomorrow again to have the live darshan and blessings and grace of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. And also on the 25th of this month, 25th of March, the pre-program for the Mahaparamashivaham is going to be starting. And on the 14th of April, the 21-day Mahaparamashivaham program is also going to be starting. So those of you who want to register yourself for the Mahaparamashivaham program, or if you want to get in contact with a Kailayavasi to help manifest the Mahaparamashivaham program for you or for a near and dear member of someone in your life, you can visit the link paramashivoham.org to learn more about the Mahaparamashivaham program and to get in contact with us if you need help and to manifest your reality, to cause your reality of experiencing the Mahaparamashivaham program, which is directly guided and conducted by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism himself. And so now with this, I would like to thank Brahmasukha Maharaj for coming today and being a part of today's segment and enlightening all of us having this discussion about the Hindu Parliament and why the Hindu Parliament is needed to solve the world problems and how the Hindu Parliament can complement the existing world governments in place to reach the 17 sustained goals of the United Nations. I would like to also take this moment to thank all our viewers for coming today and being a part of today's program, for taking part in the Hindu votes, and for becoming an active part of the revival of Kailasa. And so now with this, we're going to be entering into the next segment of today's program, which is the Nityananda Satsang. Let us now prepare ourselves to receive the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism for the Nityananda Satsang. Please sit straight with your head, neck, and spine in a straight line. Close your eyes and bring your awareness to your Ananda Gandha. Visualize the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism residing in your Ananda Gandha as Paramashiva with the 25 heads and 15 hands. And now start chanting the Mahavakya mantra, Om Nityananda Paramashivoham, and allow the mantra to reverberate throughout your entire being, to bring you back into the space of Nirvikalpa Samadhi, to be in the space of listening as we welcome the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism for the Nityananda Satsang. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham.
Om Nityanandeshwara सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् नित्यानन्देश्वरि पराशक्तिमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. I welcome you all with my love and respect. I welcome all the Hindus, living and practicing Hindus all over the world. All the Sarvanyapita Kartas, Yajamans, Manifestors, Kayakalpa Yogis, Sarvaparityagis, Kailasas, ministers, ambassadors, diplomats, consulate generals, and supporters. Soon to be appointed Senate members. I welcome all of you with my love and respect. Paramashiva's message directly from Kailasa. Work on the body, that is yoga. Work connecting with the cosmic bodies, that is kriya. You will automatically manifest powers, that is jnana, and you will be in absolute bliss lifestyle, that is charya. Work on your body, that's the first foremost. I tell you, I'll give you one simple example. One incident in my own life. My gurus will insist on me every day taking neem juice. I still remember once, he did not, my Guru Raghupati Yogi, Yoganandapuri, he did not let me eat almost for 5-6 days. Maybe it was the 6th day. He did not give me food, and whenever he says I should not eat, my mother also won't give food. My mother and he was such wonderful nexus, I should say. My mother is such a sweet, compassionate person, but so dedicated to my enlightenment and the process. My gurus were doing it for me, and my gurus used to tell that they are preparing my body not only to be a yogi and live long life, healthy life, and the way they prepared my body, they said very clearly that even if after I leave the body, it will not go through any of the regular dead bodies decays. How the dead bodies go through decays, the natural decaying happening, my gurus have clearly declared that my body, even after I leave the body, will not go through any of the natural decay. It will just be a naturally mummified body. Of course, I did not understand all that at that time, and he used to tell me that that is why so much preparation we are doing. Not only no one can poison you, even if they poison your body, you will not die, you will only detox and automatically cleanse your body by its own strength, and you will live healthy as long as you want. And even after you leave the body, it will not go through any regular decay. It will just be like Jiva Samadhi, sitting in Jiva Samadhi. Anyhow, he did not let me eat for almost 5-6 days, and not only that, he was feeding me with neem juice. Without food, giving neem juice, and asking me to brush my teeth with the neem stick. With the neem stick, I have to touch the haritaki powder as the powder. Neem stick will be like a brush. Haritaki powder will be like a tooth powder. That is the way I have to brush. I tell you, but one thing I should put this on record here, the extraordinary humbleness and involvement, their love gave me the complete courage and secure feeling to go through all the process they have done to me. See, actually, he will do all this, and he will ask me to walk. When I walk and come back, I'm not supposed to wear the chappal. Of course, in Tiruvannamalai, I'll never wear. That's my lifestyle. Even when I was studying in college, I have to wear the shoes mandatory for them. When we enter the workshop, I'll carry the shoes in the carry bag. Only after the bus crosses Tiruvannamalai border, I'll wear the shoes and go. Before the bus enters Tiruvannamalai border, I'll remove the shoes. That's my respect to Arunachala. So, he will make me walk. When I walk and come back, he himself will keep my feet on his lap and press. That love gave me the deep security that they will not put me through any unnecessary torture. Whatever they make me do is only minimum requirement of tapas. No extra torture, no unnecessary torture. That gave me tremendous courage, confidence to go through whatever they were asking me to go through. And 6th day, still no sign of food. Again, neem juice. Finally, I vomited. Nothing came out, just that neem juice, which he fed me, that only came out. Because there was no food for last 6 days. What can come out? Only neem juice came out. And after checking the color, he said, yes. Ronanir samanam aidichida, ipani sapadala. It means the acid which is there in our body, which is responsible for balancing the hunger, which creates the feeling of hunger, or which creates the feeling of satisfaction. The Ronanir Samanam. That Ronanir, I don't know exact English translation of that word Ronanir. The Ronanir is not just a chemical. When it is in the body, it is a living organism which can be programmed. It means like it's like it has its own biomemory. So, that decides the signal of hunger, signal of satisfaction, is programmed in Ronaneer. That Ronaneer is responsible for maintaining our hunger. He said that has been balanced and programmed. And I tell you, till now, that programming they have done is responsible for my healthy, happy life. As I said, 42 can sit in Padmasana, no spare parts required, spectacles or teeth, nothing, no spare parts required, internal or external, happy, healthy, 20 hours a day I can do my work. No medicines, no hospital visits, nothing. I'm 42. Surely I have not even gone to hospitals 42 times. Maybe I would have gone to inaugurate, visit, bless, but not for treatment. Only few times, like when I had the fracture, went to hospital for surgery. Other than that, it's their grace. It's their grace. I wanted all of you to know balancing of the Ronaneer is a very powerful method. I'll give you simple tips. First instruction, keep always your body hungry. Never dump food and fill it. No. You should always feel that subtle hunger. Means constantly the Jadaragni is alive, burning. Ronaneer balancing gives you tremendous willpower. I tell you, some of my kids, because I balance their Ronaneer, they have amazing willpower. I just need to help them to align it, to train more. You see, you need to be given power and then knowledge, both. Jnana and Shakti, both. Some of my kids, I am highly successful in bringing this Ronaneer balance. Ronaneer balance gives you tremendous willpower. Tremendous willpower. Nobody can break you. With that strength, you need to be given power. The power needs to be added. I can spell out few names of my kids with whom I sincerely worked. No one can break their will. Even beyond their self-doubt, that physical biomemory has imbibed their will. I can name many of my kids. Of course, there is a long list. I'm just saying few people. Work on balancing the Ronaneer. Keep your body always hungry. Stop being a cheap, poor backgrounded rich man. See, when a poor person becomes a rich person, he lives the fantasy of poor person's rich person. He takes revenge on the society by dumping himself. See, whatever was denied to him when he was poor, he thinks when he becomes rich, he should grab all that. That is rich life. No. When you are poor, the quality food was denied to you is wrong. So add quality food. A good food which brings strength to your body. But junk food was denied to you is a blessing. Don't try to dump your body with junk food. The poor man's fantasy of rich man, even if you live the poor man's fantasy of rich man, you are a rich man according to poor man, not the real rich man. Real rich man knows what is needed for him. I tell you, my Gurukul kids will be the real rich kids because they know what is needed for them. For many of my kids, I have done that balancing of Ronanir. More than their willpower, will persistence, the consciousness supporting them to be aligned and integrated will be more. Listen, I'll repeat. Biggest problem for the seekers is self-doubt, self-denial, self-hatred. Will persistence will be higher than the self-hatred, self-denial, self-doubt in a strong person. Higher than the will persistence, consciousness. The Gurukul kids whom I balance, I'm not saying they will not have self-doubt, self-hatred, self-denial. They can create. I've seen some of the kids doing. Their problem is simple laziness. But they will imagine big problems. Oh, I'm not feeling inspired. I think my commitment to Swamiji is reduced. I don't know what to do. I think I'm confused. Delusory problems. Real problem is only simple laziness. Without breaking the simple laziness problem, imagining that as a big problem. And I have also seen just the simple darkness and screen is moving in the dark. Switch on the light, problem is solved. Instead, I think Brahma Rakshas has come, Bhuta has come, Preta has come. Exactly the same thing we do inside the mind. Simple laziness, break it. Don't make it as a big problem. By imagination, confusion. Listen. Fasting we do for Skanda Sashti, 6 days. And every Pradosham, every Egadasi, Vaishnavites do on Ekadashi, Shaivites do on Pratosham. All this helps you amazingly to balance your Ronanir and program the Ronanir. Langanam Parama Aushadam. Fasting is the greatest medicine. Hunger is the greatest space to exist. Start developing taste for being hungry. I tell you. Start developing taste for being hungry. You need a strong, powerful vessel to do the alchemy process with mercury. Enlightenment is just like alchemy process with mercury. First, you need to have a stone vessel in which the mercury need to be poured, and the energizing process should happen inside the stone vessel so that the molecules of mercury is broken through the energy and reassembled as a solid molecules. It's a whole alchemy process. But the vessel should be strong stone, granite vessel. Same way, the body should be built with hunger and Rananir balancing. I am not saying don't give vitamins, minerals, all needed. Give all of that. But stop dumping junk food on the system. Your body will become a powerful vessel where the spiritual alchemy process can happen. Yajnavalkya Smriti says beautifully, the best detox, Kala, Agni, Karma, Mrit, Vayu, Mano, Jnanam, Tapo, Jalam, Paschatapaha, Niraharaha, Sarve, Ami, Tuttihetavaha. Nirahara is the last but most powerful detox. Work on the body. Work on your body intensely by more and more nirahara. Keep yourself hungry. Whole day you should feel the fire of hunger. All my most healthy kids are kids who learned the mechanism, methodology of keeping themselves hungry. These few kids whom I named, I have always seen, even if there's a large quantity of food, they will not touch. They know how to balance themselves. I tell you how the blacksmith puts the iron in the heat and then puts it in the cold to strengthen. Same way, if you put your body in hunger and then the detox herbal juices like neem, castor oil, haritaki powder, actually just with castor oil, haritaki powder, neem juice, adimaduram, these few herbs, I can live without food for more than 3 months comfortably. You can just sit happily, comfortably, without food for 3 months, just with these few herbs. At least for 2 days, you should be able to do this. If you can tune your body, the yoga will start happening in your body, in your system. Today I said I will be speaking about the Hindu parliament structure. I'll elaborate from today, next few more days, my vision for the Sabha. See, the oldest available record in recorded human history, democracy appears only in Hindu history. Understand? The oldest available records of the human history, the modern day, the recorded human history, the concept of democracy is available only in Hindu tradition. We call it responsible democracy. Means people who are already educated in economic principles vote for economic principles. People who are already educated in enlightenment science, they vote for the enlightenment science-based related principles. People who are already educated in the field of agriculture and who are practicing agriculturists, they vote for agriculture-based related policies, principles. See, somebody who doesn't have any economical policy, strategy related knowledge, and if you give him the voting right, what he will do? If you give 1,000 rupees to him or some freebie, that is the best economic strategy or policy for his personal life, so he will vote for you. That's all. That's the way the freebies hijack the health of the nation. How in modern day democracies, freebies are used to hijack the health of the nation. Economical health of the nation is hijacked by the freebies. Because for a common man, he knows only economic policies and strategies for his personal life. He doesn't have a knowledge or he is not educated about the country's good or what is good for country, what is the right policy for the country. Because he is not educated. If something he thinks good for his personal economic strategy and economic policy, immediately he votes for it. How the freebies are used to destroy countries. Irresponsible democracy. Hinduism practiced responsible democracy. Each field people who are experts in that field were given voting right. Beautifully, in Shaivite tradition, we have a concept called Anubhava Mantapa. The experience ones gather and vote. Oldest recorded concept of demand draft existed between the Rameshwaram Pandits, Brahmins, and Kedarnath Brahmins. They had a system. The Rameshwaram Brahmins, if you deposit some money with them, and they will give the palm leaf written with a signature. You take it and give. People who are doing the yatra, if you hand over that leaf in Kedarnath, they will hand over the money to you for your yatra. This demand draft system. Same way, Tiruppanandal Adinam had Tiruppanandal Adinam. If you deposit money, you can collect it in their Kashimat branch. They had a system. The documentations are available. The oldest demand draft practice. And in Madurai Adinams, there are references available. Demand draft service between Madurai Adinam and Nellai Jnanasambandar Adinam. I think at some time it was a branch of Madurai, Madurai Adinam. There are some temples in Sri Lanka. Jnanasambandar sang in Devaram. So those temples are also under the spiritual guidance of Madurai Adinam. Once upon a time, even Rameshwaram temple was under the guidance of Madurai Adinam, Arulakshi of Madurai Adinam. And I am trying to revive the responsible democracy. I'll give you the sutra, the Shastra Pramana, for some of the statements about the democracy. Manusmriti, 8th chapter, first sloka says, Vyavaharan titrushustu brahmanaihi sahapartiva mantragnairapi mantripihi chaiva vinita praviset sabam, desirous of looking into the administrative businesses of the government and governance of the country and the legal cases, the king shall enter the Sabha with humility, along with Brahmanas, the educated ones in those fields, and ministers, thinkers, and administrators in those fields who are knowledgeable in giving the right advice. With the grace of Ganapati, Paramashiva, we are working on reviving the parliamentary system practiced in Hinduism, what I call responsible democracy. I'll spell out my vision in further satsangs. Rigveda, 10th Mandala, 191st Sukta says, Samsamita yuvase varshannagne vishwanyarya ilaspade samityase tano vasunyapara samgachatvam samvatatvam samvomanamsi janadama devabhagam yada purve sajjanana upasade samano mantraha samiti samani samanam manaha saha chittamesham samanam mantramapi mantraye va samanena oha vishajuhomi samani va agudi samana ardayani va samanamastu omano yadava susahasadi. Thou, mighty Agni, gatherest up all that is precious for thy friend. Bring us all the treasures as thou art enkindled in liberation's place. Assembled, speak together, let your minds be all of one accord. As ancient gods, unanimous, sit down to their appointed share. The place is common, common the assembly, common the mind, so be their thought united. A common purpose do I lay before you, and worship with your general oblation. One and the same be your resolve, and be your minds of one accord. United be the thoughts of all, that all may happily agree. Coming to a consensus, how responsible democracy works to come to a healthy consensus, keeping all their private, personal interests, likes, dislikes aside, keeping the common good as the goal, how they come to a consensus, how the ecosystem is more important priority than the individual's likes and dislikes. The tyaga of the people, the visionaries, is beautifully described in this verse. I give the rough outline. The Chit Sabha, Raja Sabha, Deva Sabha, Kanaga Sabha, Nityananda Sabha. These are the 5 Sabhas. Put together will be called as Hindu Parliament. Chit Sabha will deal with all consciousness related sciences. The purpose of Kailasa is to give a superconscious breakthrough to the world, planet Earth. Chit Sabha will deal the issues related to that. Raja Sabha will deal all the political decisions need to be made and reaching out to politicians, inspiring, integrating them with the cosmic vision of Kailasa. Raja Sabha will work in that line. Deva Sabha will bring all the best contributions of the Kailasa to the world. Hinduism has so much to offer, whether the flights, Pushpaka Vimana of those days, or the amazing surgery, technology, methodologies of Sushruta, the amazing Hindu medicine, all the best things Hinduism has to offer in the field of life and administration. Deva Sabha will manage. And Kanaka Sabha will manage all the resource development. The Hindus existed as the richest civilization, completely in tune with the nature, without exploiting, abusing, destroying nature. We lived as the richest civilization, reviving those natural resources based lifestyle, and it's a altogether different science. As long as world was following the trend of Hindu civilization 1000 years, 2000 years before, not only we were richest, planet Earth never had any suffering. Nature never suffered. Prakriti was part of us. We were part of the Prakriti. Now the way we are going, if we are not given the right knowledge and education, we may not keep the planet Earth alive for next 100 years. It may not be livable anymore. Even for next 100 years. Within next 100 years, we may destroy it if we don't wake up to the truth. To live with the nature, to live with the Prakriti without exploiting it. It's time we learn to live with the nature, the most beautiful, natural, cosmic way, the Hindu lifestyle. So the Kanaka Sabha will be looking into that component. Nityananda Sabha will work on lifestyle, blissful lifestyle. So, I'll elaborate the whole structure in further satsangs. We will also invite anyone who wants to become part of Chit Sabha, Raja Sabha, Deva Sabha, Kanaka Sabha. We will define them clearly, and the commitment, responsibility expected from the members and the qualification of the members, we will spell out everything, then invite applications, welcome the people who want to be members, and form the parliamentary body, Hindu Parliament. Sabha, Raja Sabha, Deva Sabha, Kanaka Sabha, Nityananda Sabha. These 5 will be the sabhas. Structures put together will be called as Hindu Parliament. We'll start working on it. By Shivaratri, I feel we will be ready with all the 5 sabhas. Maybe Arudra. Arudra is little. Arudra comes in Margazhi month. Shivaratri in Masi. It will be nice if we are ready with all the structure, everything for Margazhi, because the sabhas name I have given based on Chidambaram temple sabhas. So if it is ready by Margazhi, Tiruvadirai, Arudra, we can offer it at the feet of Nataraja, who administers the whole universe. Let's Oham, the eternal bliss, Nityananda. Thank you. Be blissful. usually at this samadhi level, when I verbalize, common man can't grasp as per his logic. So he will have his own confusion, misinterpretation. So I'll wait for a little more settling down so it can be verbalized into your language. The language you understand, the rationality or the rationale means the logic level of a common human being. So I'll settle down to that and then start expressing. I have so many wonderful things from Kailasa to all of you. Raising the intensity of the integrity will keep you all prepared to receive this whole thing. Be like Devi, Brahmanda Yoni, Parashakti, waiting to receive. Be like Parashakti, you will receive Paramashiva intensely, beautifully. Remember yourself as Parashakti and wait to receive Paramashiva. Even this intense waiting, a deep passive waiting, can just make you explode in enlightenment, and Paramashiva delivers his message just by a word, by an initiation, by mantra. Just you can explode. It is possible. So prepare yourself with a deep waiting. Many people ask me how to receive Devi's grace fully. Listen carefully. Be very clear. Literally, you are seeing Paramashiva and Parashakti at that moment. She is there in your screen. So always receive them very traditionally. Keep 2 betel leaf, 1 banana, 1 betel nut in front of the screen. You watch Devi. 1 coin. It can be lowest unit available for you. It can be $1 or even 1 cent is okay. Coin. Coin is the traditional dakshina given in Hindu tradition. It can be lowest value. If you are in India, it can be 25 paise or 10 paise, or even if you get 1 paise coin, that is okay. If you are in US, it can be even quarter or even a cent. If you get a cent coin, that is also okay. Keep a coin. Coin is considered to be traditional dakshina. 1 betel nut, 2 betel leaf, 1 banana, 1 lowest minimum possible coin available for you. Offer that to Devi. That's the way the dakshina is offered traditionally. And after the darshan is over, do namaskar and eat that banana, betel leaf and betel nut. Take it as a prasadam immediately. That coin, collect, then send it to our temple, maybe the Los Angeles temple. You can send it. Keep minimum coin. I am not trying to monetize, please understand. You can keep 1 cent. But the traditional respect is giving some minimum coin. Especially women, Devi, when she comes, at least 2 betel leaf, 1 betel nut, 1 banana, 1 coin. As I said, it does not even need to be $1 coin. It can be even 1 cent coin. 1 cent is also okay. Whichever country you are living, the minimum denomination coin available, keep just 1 coin and offer it. After the darshan is done, eat that betel leaf and betel nut, banana, the coin, send it to nearest temple. Los Angeles is best as a dakshina. That's it. Listen, this betel leaf, betel nut may look too small, but once you start this, you will understand in few days how much it adds to your sentiment that really she is there. You will not take the Devi Darshan for granted. That is why this betel leaf, betel nut. Listen carefully. Rituals will break your monotonous, unconscious mentality, lifestyle, and it will remind you and raise you to the powerful cognition. It will break your unconscious behavior. After 2-3 days, you forget you are having Devi in the screen from Kailasa appearing directly. This 2 betel leaf will remind you, hey, Devi is appearing on the screen. You are receiving her ritualistically. That is why I am saying, I am not even expecting you to keep $1. Keep 1 cent. So 100 days, if you see darshan, only then it will get added up into $1. I think 1 cent is, 100 cent is $1. That's what I think. I don't know the. So keep even 1 cent is okay. If you are in India, you can keep even 1 paise or 10 paise, whatever minimum coin available, you can keep. But this betel leaf, betel nut, banana, and this coin, don't forget. It can even be dry leaf, that is okay. Om Nityanandeshwara Parama Shiva Samarambam Nityanandeshwari Parashakti Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. I welcome you all with my love and respect. I welcome all the Hindus, living and practicing Hindus all over the world. All the Sarvanyapita Kartas, Yajamans, Manifestors, Kayakalpa Yogis, Sarvaparityagis, Kailasas, ministers, ambassadors, diplomats, consulate generals, and supporters. Soon to be appointed Senate members. I welcome all of you with my love and respect. Paramashiva's message directly from Kailasa. Work on the body, that is yoga. Work connecting with the cosmic bodies, that is kriya. You will automatically manifest powers, that is jnana, and you will be in absolute bliss lifestyle, that is charya. Work on your body, that's the first foremost, I tell you. I'll give you one simple example, one incident in my own life. My gurus will insist on me every day taking neem juice. I still remember once, he did not, my Guru Raghupati Yogi, Yogananda Puri, he did not let me eat almost for 5-6 days. Maybe it was the 6th day, he did not give me food, and whenever he says I should not eat, my mother also won't give food. My mother and he was such wonderful nexus, I should say. My mother is such a sweet, compassionate person, but so dedicated to my enlightenment and the process. My gurus were doing it for me, and my gurus used to tell that they are preparing my body not only to be a yogi and live long life, healthy life, and the way they prepared my body, they said very clearly that even if after I leave the body, it will not go through any of the regular dead bodies decays. How the dead bodies go through decays, the natural decaying happening. My gurus have clearly declared that my body, even after I leave the body, will not go through any of the natural decay. It will just be a naturally mummified body. Of course, I did not understand all that at that time, and he used to tell me that that is why so much preparation we are doing. Not only no one can poison you, even if they poison your body, you will not die, you will only detox and automatically cleanse your body by its own strength, and you will live healthy as long as you want. And even after you leave the body, it will not go through any regular decay. It will just be like Jiva Samadhi, sitting in Jiva Samadhi. Anyhow, he did not let me eat for almost 5-6 days, and not only that, he was feeding me with neem juice. Without food, giving neem juice and asking me to brush my teeth with the neem stick. With the neem stick, I have to touch the haritaki powder as the powder. Neem stick will be like a brush. Haritaki powder will be like a tooth powder. That is the way I have to brush. I tell you, but one thing I should put this on record here, the extraordinary humbleness and involvement, their love gave me the complete courage and secure feeling to go through all the process they have done to me. See, actually, he will do all this, and he will ask me to walk. When I walk and come back, I'm not supposed to wear the chappal. Of course, in Tiruvannamalai, I'll never wear. That's my lifestyle. Even when I was studying in college, I have to wear the shoes mandatory for when we enter the workshop. I'll carry the shoes in the carry bag. Only after the bus crosses Tiruvannamalai border, I'll wear the shoes and go. Before the bus enters Tiruvannamalai border, I'll remove the shoes. That's my respect to Arunachala. So, he will make me walk. When I walk and come back, he himself will keep my feet on his lap and press. That love gave me the deep security that they will not put me through any unnecessary torture. Whatever they make me do is only minimum requirement of tapas. No extra torture, no unnecessary torture. That gave me tremendous courage, confidence to go through whatever they were asking me to go through. And 6th day, still no sign of food. And again, neem juice. Finally, I vomited. Nothing came out, just that neem juice, which he fed me, that only came out. Because there was no food for last 6 days. What can come out? Only neem juice came out. And after checking the color, he said, yes. Ronanir samanam aidichida. Ipa nee saapadalam. It means the acid which is there in our body, which is responsible for balancing the hunger, which creates the feeling of hunger, or which creates the feeling of satisfaction. The Ronanir Samanam. That Ronanir, I don't know exact English translation of that word Ronanir. The Ronanir is not just a chemical. When it is in the body, it is a living organism which can be programmed. It means like it's like it has its own biomemory. So that decides the signal of hunger, signal of satisfaction is programmed in Ronanir. That Ronanir is responsible for maintaining our hunger. He said that has been balanced and programmed. And I tell you, till now, that programming they have done is responsible for my healthy, happy parts required, internal or external, happy, healthy, 20 hours a day I can do my work. No medicines, no hospital visits, nothing. I'm 42. Surely I have not even gone to hospitals 42 times. Maybe I would have gone to inaugurate, visit, bless, but not for treatment. Only few times, like when I had the fracture, went to hospital for surgery. Other than that, it's their grace. It's their grace. I wanted all of you to know balancing of the Ronanir is a very powerful method. I'll give you simple tips. First instruction, keep always your body hungry. Never dump food and fill it. No. You should always feel that subtle hunger. Means constantly the Jadaragni is alive, burning. Ronanir balancing gives you tremendous willpower. I tell you, some of my kids, because I balance their Ronanir, they have amazing willpower. I just need to help them to align it, to train more. You see, you need to be given power and then knowledge, both. Jnana and Shakti, both. some of my kids, I am highly successful in bringing this Rona-Neer balance. Rona-Neer balance gives you tremendous willpower. Tremendous willpower. Nobody can break you. With that strength, you need to be given power. The power need to be added. I can spell out few names. My kids, with whom I sincerely worked, no one can break their will. Even beyond their self-doubt, that physical biomemory has imbibed their will. I can name many of my kids. Of course, there is a long list. I'm just saying few people. Work on balancing the Rana-Neer. Keep your body always hungry. Stop being a cheap, poor backgrounded rich man. See, when a poor person becomes a rich person, he lives the fantasy of poor person's rich person. He takes revenge on the society by dumping himself. See, whatever was denied to him when he was poor, he thinks when he becomes rich, he should grab all that. That is rich life. No. See, when you are poor, the quality food was denied to you is wrong. So add quality food. A good food which brings strength to your body. But junk food was denied to you is a blessing. Don't try to dump your body with junk food. The poor man's fantasy of rich man, even if you live the poor man's fantasy of rich man, you are a rich man according to poor man, not the real rich man. Real rich man knows what is needed for him. I tell you, my Gurukul kids will be the real rich kids because they know what is needed for them. For many of my kids, I have done that balancing of Rona-Neer. More than their willpower, will persistence,